All right, boys and girls, welcome back to the drive-through. Special shout-out to Mr. Crow in the house today. Let's hear it for Mr. Crow. All right. All right. All right, hey, this is 7-8. You'll notice H. The H stands for honors. This is an honors level standard. It means that it really doesn't have to be taught to all students that take Algebra 1, but I am teaching it because I expect that you guys can work at this level. That being said, if you struggle a little bit with some of this stuff, don't worry about it. You didn't even know what you didn't know before you started doing this, so don't even let it sweat you. Move on to the homework and ask me for help. You'll be able to understand lots of this. Maybe not all of it, but lots of it, okay? So number one just lets us redo this idea. It's got a block for, so let me pause it and reread it. So basically, in number one, they want you to consider this. 2 times a block that is x plus 1 times x plus 3. Okay? So what would that look like? Well, I'm not exactly sure how to write it into a block, but I think I could do this. Let's FOIL it, see what happens. X squared plus 3x plus 1x plus 3, right? So they want us to do 2 times x squared plus 4x plus 3. Well, let's start by just writing this block out. So we'd have x by x. On one side, we add 1. On the other side, we're going to add 3. Now, if we wanted to double that, I think we could add 1 here, add another block here, draw this line down, 1, 2, 3, and then fill these in, and that should give us what we have. Here is 2x squared, right? Well, here, this would equal 2x squared plus 8x plus 6. Notice we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 x's, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units, okay? So that's what they're asking us to do. That's the concept. So the order was scrambled. The pieces are shown here. Put them back together to make a rectangular block and write 2 equivalent expressions. Well, I'm not going to focus on the picture. I'm not, okay? We got to get going on this video. But we know that these are all x squared, right? And these are all 1x, and these are all 1. So this would be, ViewSonic, 3x squared, right? How many 1x's do we have? So plus 15x. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, plus 18, okay? That'd be one way we could write that algebraically, okay? For the area of this thing in terms of x, ViewSonic. Let's go, you lagger. Come on. Whoa. Okay, now, another way we could write that, because they asked us to write it 2 ways, Carson. What do all these terms have in common? They all have a 3 in common. So undistributing is called factoring. So 3 times x squared plus what? 5x, excellent, plus 6. Aha, so this is kind of like the algebra version of what we just did up here. We just kind of went forward and backward now. Got it? All right. So, now it's saying, well, this was the order, and this was one of the sides, but somehow we lost the other side. So it's like 2x squared plus 7x plus 3 is equal to the area of x plus 3 times something else. And in these 3 problems, we're trying to find the something else. And Well, Carson, you guessed x plus another variable, but if you notice, the leading coefficient is a 2. So do you really think it's x plus something here? It's not x squared. It's 2x, right? What's x? When we FOIL, what are we going to do first? First times first, right? What's x times 2x? 2x squared. This is important, okay? So slow down your answers. All right, now what would you guess would go here? Well, first of all, I guessed a plus, because notice it was plus, plus. Now, what's the last coefficient, Carson? What is our C value? C is 3. So if I put you on a torture device and I made you take a guess, and if you didn't get it right, I would torture you, what would you guess here to save your own life? We want C to be 3. This one is 3. What do you think goes there? Is 3 times 3 3? You just got tortured by that Saw guy, dude. Yeah, there's a machine turning on. You're strapped to your bed right now. Okay? It's a 1. It's a 1. Now, how can we test to see if we did this right? FOIL. Good. So what's 2x times x? Outside? Inside? Last? Is this right? Yes, it is. So that's what we're doing here. We're guessing. Okay, so x plus 1 times what gives us that? Take a guess. 8. X plus 1 times 8 is 8x plus 8.
No.
Look at the first. What do we want to multiply x by to give us 5x squared? 5. X times 5 is 5x. We don't want 5x, we want 5x squared. Good, so we want that to be a 5x. You follow that? Okay, now, what do we want our C to be? Alright, this one is a 1. They're both positive, so I'm convinced that's a positive. So what do you think goes here, Carson? Excellent. There you go. It is a 3. How should we test to see if we did it right? FOIL. I'm just going to change colors because it's going to start to blend together. 5x times x?
5x squared.
Outside? Inside? Last? Is this right? Yes, it is. Now I want you to get this one right. Don't be giving this mumbo jumbo answers. Okay, ready? 2x plus 1 is going to multiply by another binomial, so there's going to be a plus in the middle. It's going to involve something with x. 2x times 2x is 4x squared, but I like your guess more. So in this case, we don't want 2x. Look, this one's a 2. 2 times, that's right, 1x. Okay? And what do you think goes here, since C is 3, and this is a 1? There you go, and that is correct. Okay? The equivalent expression for the area would be 2x plus 1 times x plus 3. And if you FOIL it, trust me, you're going to get it right. We're moving on. Okay? What are some patterns you see? Well, look for A and C. I mean, that's what I'm kind of telling you to do. Okay? All right, now, I've got to teach you something, and it's called the AC method. You could guess and check till the cows come home. That's one way to do it. But this is a method to help you guess and check better. So it's kind of just I call it do a riddle. To split the middle. Now the riddle is this. You're looking for two numbers. They multiply to give you A times C. Keep in mind, this is A, this is B, and this is C. And they add to give you B, okay? So what in this case, in letter A, what is, like in this problem, What is A times C? 3 times 5 is? Okay, and then what is B? So Carson, I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to be 15 and add to be 16. Can you come up with those two numbers? It's 15 and 1, okay? All right, so now we have to split the middle. So check this out. Rewrite the first term. Split the middle terms. Okay? And then leave the last term. You've never done this before, so your look of confusion is perfect. Don't worry about it. Just follow along. Now we're going to do this thing called grouping, and if you do it this right, it will always work out. We're just going to group these and factor them individually. So what things can we take out of 3x squared and 15x? 3x. What do we have left? 3x times what is 3x squared? Very good. 3x times what is 15? Plus 5. Okay, now here's where the magic happens. I'm going to factor out a 1 from this one. You never ever factor out a 1, but in this case you would. What are you left with on the inside, Carson? X plus 5. Well, notice, we have two things that are both multiplying by the same thing. So we can unfactor that. Or undistribute that, undistribute that. So the answer to this is 3x plus 1 times x plus 5. How would we check it to see if we got it right, Carson? FOIL it. 3x squared plus 15x. Look what we're doing here. Plus 1x plus 5. Aha! That is the exact same thing as this. That is what factoring by grouping does, is you're basically unfoiling something with A not equal to 1, okay? It might make it easier, but remember, we're just going to enjoy the challenge. This is honors level stuff, okay? All right, so what we're going to do, because this video is going to get too long if not, we're just going to do one more of these. So you pick it, Carson.
Let's do C.
C it is, okay? Just need some room. We're going to change over to blue. So in C, we're trying to factor 3x squared minus 1x. I'm going to put a 1 there because we might need that. Sorry, thank you, Sean. Mr. Crow, stepping up. Minus 10, okay? We're looking for two numbers. This is the riddle part. They multiply to be AC, and they add to be B. So what is A times C in this one, Carson? Negative 30. And they add to be? They add to be 1. They add to be B, okay? My bad. Yeah, you don't add A and C. My bad, I got distracted over there. So, to review, we're doing a riddle so we know how to split the middle. We're looking for two numbers. All right, so two numbers that multiply to be negative 30 and add to be 1. Do you have them yet? What are some numbers that multiply to be 30? 6 and 5. What's negative 6 times 5? What is that? Negative 30, right? What's negative 6 plus 5? Negative 1. Okay, we want positive 1. So we just got the negatives wrong. Exactly. Good job. That was very smart of you. So, what is 6 times negative 5? Negative 30. What is 6 plus negative 5? Positive 1. That's how we're going to split the middle. That's the answer to the riddle. 6 and negative 5. So now the process is this. I rewrite 3x squared plus 6x minus 5x minus 10. Okay? Now I do this little grouping thing. What can I take out of this? 3x times what remains? X. Excellent. I almost messed that up. Okay. Now, we want this to be x plus 2. So, minus, what can we bring out of here?
5.
And what do we have remaining? Plus 2. Because we factored out a minus 5. That's hard. Okay? Got it? So, you know you did it right when these things match up. They're both multiplying by those. So now we got to keep undistributing, and the answer is 3x and negative 5 are multiplying by x plus 2. It's magic. Okay, I'm moving on. We're not doing all the examples. All right, so this is x plus 1, Usonic, plus 1. This is x plus 3. What's x plus x, Carson?
2x.
So 2x plus 1 times 2x plus 3. That is the area of this thing in terms of x. How would we write that in another way? Foil it. So 4x squared plus 6x plus 2x plus 3. 4x squared plus 8x plus 3. Okay? Got it? All right. Pick one. We're going to do 2 of these.
B.
B. All right. So 10x squared plus 17x plus 3. We're trying to factor it. In order to factor it, we need to do a riddle to split the middle. We're looking for 2 numbers that multiply to be 30. You understand where I got 30? Yep. And that add to be 17. Come on, you can do this. Big numbers. What multiplies to be 30? 10 times 3 is close, but 10 plus 3 is 17. What about 15 times 15 and 2? That's the answer to our riddle. What's 15 times 2?
30.
What's 15 plus 2? That's the one. So what are we going to do with those numbers? We're going to split the middle. Okay? 10x squared plus 15x plus 2x plus 3. Now what do? We group them. Great answer, Carson.
Now we bring them out so we can do 5x.
5x times what?
2.
That's so good, Carson. There's nothing we can take out, so we just take out a 1. Does that make sense? So we are multiplying 2 things by the same thing, which means we can group 5x plus 1 times 2x plus 3. Now I'm confident that I've done enough examples for you to at least try these. Try any ones you want, or move on to the homework if you want. Okay? But what did we learn about this? A recipe. Do a riddle to do what? To split the middle. We're looking for 2 numbers. They multiply to be what again, Carson? AC. And they add to be B. Is that it?
Yep.
Boom!